Sean McCartney is what I
He
see.
says with the signing of Jaray Jenkins. When did that happen? And who is that?
Don't do that, bro.
Do you think the Steelers are looking for a wide receiver too? Yes, we still are. We definitely still are.
Like
I don't
this,
think
bro?
Jaray Jenkins changes that.
I think
And
it's
what
not.
will they do with all these receivers? I'm still excited for GP though.
Can you not be like this, bro? Like,
Just the truth.
why you gotta be like this, bro?
We just
Like,
gotta drop the truth. Jaray Jenkins, we just signed.
Deke, I wasn't ready for your reaction, bro. I'm sorry. Okay, I just did a moment. All right, just did a moment. Jeez. All right. Shout out to Jaray Jenkins, though. All right, shout out to Jaray. Believe came out, 2023. So he came out not this year. He came out last season. Was with Jacksonville. Signed with Jacksonville following the draft last year. Played 2 preseason games with them, then ultimately got hurt, did an injury settlement before the regular season. Okay. Yeah, because I was trying to see where he was during that process, but it looks like he just kind of set. I don't see him on a practice squad anywhere during that time frame. Did you? I don't see him. I know he had LSU. I know that's where he had his tape at and stuff like that. He was on the national championship team in 19.
I'm not seeing much here.
Yeah. Interesting. All right, so we're about to learn about Jaray Jenkins real quick, man. So spent 5 years at LSU. During the 15-0 year when they won the Natty, he had 5 catches for 67 yards. But granted, we know the receivers down there were Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson.
Yeah, free agent ever since he was cut. So yeah, I don't think he was on a team last year.
Yeah. But they bring up, he got hurt while at LSU. Redshirt freshman, broke a leg. No, he broke his leg in high school. And that was why he redshirted at LSU his freshman year. Then he played sparingly throughout, became a part-time starter in 2020. Best statistical year was in 2021. 34 catches, 502 yards, 6 touchdowns. Then in 2022, he had 6 touchdowns to go with it. But speed is the major knock. 6'2", 204, though. Okay. And they said in terms of just the kind of review on him, they talked about how he seems like he's in glide mode when working around the field. Some of his route transitions can be effective from his smooth gait. However, NFL coverage will be quicker, more physical, often more anticipatory than at college. So they think that he could struggle to get separation. Fair enough. In the 2 preseason games that he had with Jacksonville in 2023, he had 2 catches for 32 yards also. All right.
No more Luke Barku on the team.
Correct. Yeah, we released Luke Barku
cornerback
in response to him.
He was like the XFL's defensive player of the year or something, or like their best corner. He made like their Pro Bowl
Luke
team.
was balling. Yeah, Luke was balling down there.
Yeah, and
He ain't the only, bro. It's been a couple of them former Steelers hooping down there. Shout out to Tyler Vaughns. If you know, you know. He just had a big game this weekend.
Yeah, he stuck around last year. I think he was on our practice squad.
Yeah, he was there for a little while.
Yeah, but I guess wasn't going to get another chance this year.
Yeah.
You got any more takes on Jaray Jenkins?
So I look at it like this, man. Kind of like we've been talking about. If you're not going to go get the big marquee name, Deebo Samuels or Brandon Ayuk, I think you're just trying to get as many bodies as you can in different body types and try to see may the best man emerge from the group. So when I hear he's 6'2", 204, that's a lot different than Calvin Austin and Quez Watkins. That's a big receiver, right? 6'2". It's like, all right, not big, massive, but it's like in terms of his size, he's a bigger body than those other guys. Now, the issue with him is the speed. 4'6", that is not fast for wide receiver. That's part of why when you're talking about just the separation, being able to generate it or not, typically, if you're not a very explosive player or a very fast player, you're going to have a hard time generating separation with just the caliber of athletes that we are on defense at this level. The one thing that I will say without watching him on tape, I just question the details that he plays with in terms of running his routes. Because typically, if you're not the most explosive, fleet-footed athlete, you have to be ultra detailed and extremely smart in terms of understanding how to set up your route running. If you're trying to win inside, but the guy has inside leverage, you got to make him believe that you're doing something outside to kind of be able to win that type of stuff. So I'm hoping that, with that, whatever he's done this year away from the game, that he's been locking in and improving certain things. But outside of that, honestly, it's like, hey, man, you're going to come in here and you get a chance to compete with the field, right? Because we know the guys that are, in terms of the GP, like that's solidified. But everybody else, we kind of playing that game of, man, all right, it's Jaray, can you beat out Quez? Can you beat out Van? Who you gonna try to beat out, man? But you gotta try, because none of those dudes are guaranteed a spot either right now.
Yeah, it's a free for all.
Yeah, so I'm like, for him, great
outside
opportunity.
of Roman and Pickens, it's a free for all for anyone.
Shout out to Roman. I was about to say outside of those two, I don't see like these dudes as locks on this roster right now.
No.
Especially when we know for a fact we can go trade for one of these dudes, and now that's gonna bump two of them names down that list. Yeah. So I'm like, hey man, I don't have an issue with it. Like I said, he's not a household name, but at one point James Harrison wasn't. At one point Antonio Brown wasn't either. And they both different approaches, but one's a 6th rounder, one was an undrafted dude cut multiple times. We both saw what they were able to kind of accomplish here and stuff like that. So, I mean, Mike Hilton's another one, man.
Now, if I'm going to place a bet on what unproven big body receiver has the best chance to make the roster or is going to make the roster and potentially have some impact, I'd go Denzel Mims. Like, out of that group that we're talking about, I'd go Denzel Mims over Jaray Jenkins. I'd probably go Denzel Mims, top guy.
Okay.
Just pedigree, 2nd round pick back in the day, a few years ago. You also got Marquez Callaway. I don't mind him either. Are we considering Van Jefferson to be big bodied or no?
I mean, he falls
Marquez
in this category.
Callaway's 6'1". I know Mims is a little taller than that, right?
Yeah. But Van is right in that, what? Is he 6?
Yeah, I don't think he's small.
No, he's like 6'1", 6'2", I thought.
He's 6'1", so yeah, I mean, I guess this dude just might be the tallest receiver we got now.
Oh, it's 6'2". Or
I think it was 6'2". Let me go back.
Who?
Jaray Jenkins.
He's 6'2".
Was it 6'2"?
Yeah, he's 6'2". What GP is
Am I
what,
reading the internet
6'3"?
wrong?
I thought it was 6'2". I thought it said 6'2". Maybe I read that wrong.
I got 6'4" on his college page. The LSU page. So yeah, maybe you're right.
Okay.
Maybe it was moved to something else whenever he made it to the press.
Yeah, let me see. Let me go back and see something then real quick, man. Let me see what they're going to have.
I don't think we have anyone taller than that.
Man.
But in terms of the dudes that are above 6 foot, we'll say. Because you got a couple of the small guys, the slot guys, Scotty Miller, Calvin Austin.
Shout out to Scotty Miller.
Roman Wilson. But like all these other unproven dudes that could potentially be playing outside receiver for us.
Of course, they have nothing on.
Van Jefferson's actually the answer. I'm sorry. I was thinking of guys that are more unproven. I guess we could say Van Jefferson has proven a little something.
Oh, yeah, he definitely has. Yeah. I mean,
And
Van
Quez
Jefferson has a
Watkins-
1,000-yard season. He's been a part of a run. You know what
All
I mean?
right, fine. How about this? Let me
Yeah.
phrase it like this. In terms of the guys that
No, so NFL.com, right? His official combine stats, he's 6'2", 204 pounds, 31 3/4-inch arms, 10-inch hands.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a 6'2" dude. I was going to say,
Okay.
man, they're going to boost it up, though. I told you I was 6'2" at JMU for a while.
Yeah, 6'4" at LSU.
That's
6'2".
about right. That's about right.
At the combine.
That's about right. They give you a couple inches. No, pause. I ain't like how that sounded. I'm sorry. I usually don't, but I just say like how that sound right. Yeah.
All right, how about basically the guys that are being talked about the least in this receiver room? I like Denzel Mims being the guy, potentially making the roster. Because right now, we're sitting with Pickens, Roman Wilson. I would bet Van Jefferson, Quez Watkins are 3, 4, and maybe Calvin Austin.
Time out.
We also got Scotty Miller.
Wait a minute. You said GP. You said Roman.
Yeah.
You said you're going to take Van and Quez? You think they have
just
better
think
chances
they
over
make it.
Calvin?
Yeah.
Because he took... All right, before I give you mine, why do you think...
Definitely Van Jefferson. The familiarity
Fair, I'm
with
with you on that.
Arthur Smith.
Yeah. And he's produced, right? Because Van has had success in this league. Van is not a journeyman in the sense of, he sucks. Like, Van is produced. Van is just not an elite player, but Van is a really good player, though, man.
Yeah, so maybe I was a little premature with Quez Watkins. Maybe that's the battle. Quez Watkins versus Calvin Austin, the two biggest speed guys on the offense.
Because I'm back and forth with them because I think Quez has produced more, but I think he has more bad tape. Whereas Calvin, I think, is just the more unknown, but he has that defining characteristic, which is the speed, and we haven't seen him have any hands issues. That's why I'm like, I think he kind of has that front seat over Quez. Van, I think Van, because he's the vet. I think that's why I give him the nod over Calvin, because Van, he's going to be more well-rounded in terms of a practice setting. He's going to give you more of that. But in terms of the specialty player, sometimes that specialty player could hold a little bit more than just this well-rounded guy if we bring in somebody that can do the Van Jefferson stuff, right? And that's the whole thing that we're trying to figure out in terms of wide receiver 2 per se.
Sure. Yeah. If we bring in a Deke, if we bring in a Sutton, maybe Van Jefferson's spot is more up in the air because you definitely have a top 3 then with Pickens, Roman Wilson, and whatever receiver we trade for.
Right.
And then you're looking at more like what abilities do you have that's different than what our top 3 has. And for Calvin Austin and Quez Watkins, that's definitely the speed.
And Calvin gives you return ability too.
Yeah.
So that's the other part where it's like I can see Calvin. It really just depends on what we do at this receiver room, because right now Van is too valuable. You look at the production in the room, you can make a case the second most productive receiver we have career wise, but we don't feel confident in that being opposite of GP at this stage right now. So that's the part where it's like for him today, he's probably top 2, top 3 locked into that position, but they make that move. That can definitely change him. But I think for Calvin, because of his specific skill set and him being a draft pick, that I think will help him out a little bit more. Now, he still has to do the rest of the work. And obviously, they all do. But this is just kind of like how I see it lining up a little bit.
Okay. Out of the guys that I haven't named yet, I'll take Denzel Mims. So what would that be? Denzel Mims, Marquez Callaway, and Jaray Jenkins? Yeah. Is there another name I'm missing?
I don't think
that's not even that bold of a take.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And none of them might even make the roster because Scotty Miller could be the 6th guy.
Scotty also brings in some continuities, or not? He came from Atlanta. Yeah, familiarity. Yeah, absolutely. Who do you feel more confident in though, Scotty Miller or Quez Watkins? Because I think they're kind of in that next
catching
tier.
The ball. Scotty Miller.
Okay, getting open.
Yeah, providing a deep threat. Opening up the offense for us, Quez Watkins. It just depends on what we're looking for.
Yeah,
reliability, Scotty Miller. But yeah, just having a guy go out there on verts. I mean, in a way that could be considered reliable too, because it could shift the defense and open things up for other guys. But in terms of when the ball's thrown to him, I trust Scotty Miller.
We still do trust Calvin Austin's hands, though, correct?
He hasn't done anything to make me think otherwise.
All right, so we're on the same page. Don't say just yet. Don't say just yet. Just he hasn't done anything, so we're good.
He hasn't. Actually,
that's what I was like. Yo,
got a touchdown in the playoffs.
He caught that bomb versus the Raiders.
Yeah.
Didn't
do much else though last year.
But what other times do we really attack it? Because remember, I thought he got underthrown versus the Colts. Wasn't that one where it was like it got picked,
Texans.
Right? Texans.
It was the same exact play.
Yeah.
Canada special.
Mm-hmm. What happened with? I don't remember the execution of everything. I just remember he was open versus Vegas and it worked, and then I remember it did not work versus the Texans, and I just don't remember specifics of what happened in terms of it getting out there. Maybe my memory don't be the best. I just thought it was something with that.
Yeah.
Because he was open. I remember
I'm
him.
Not gonna say
Calvin was definitely on top.
Throws.
I know it was the Canada special.
I don't think it was the best of decisions. I don't think it was the worst throw. It was like up there for your guy to get it.
It was who you throwing it to though.
Yeah, he's 5'9".
But is that on Canada though? Because it worked before and he gave you an opportunity to make a play. I think you can make a case about the decision.
Yeah. I mean, ultimately, Kenny did have the ball in his hands. You make the decision, but it was like the same thing that we've heard how many times when the opponents would play our offense. You got someone after the game saying, "Yeah, that Steelers offense predictable. They're running the same plays." So Steven Nelson called us out after cause he was the one that got the pick, right? Was it him? I think it was.
I think it was low key. Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, we knew that play was coming. It's the exact same one." Now, Kenny made the throw. I don't know who else was open on that play, but it wasn't. I didn't think it was a terrible throw. People were acting like it was so underthrown. I think it was there for the guy to get it. Like if that was Pickens, I think Pickens comes down with it. But Calvin Austin's 5'9". It could have been out there a little bit more in front of him, but
I just love how you talk about it. He's like, yo, it could have been this, but it could have been that too, though. But it could have been that part. It just as a whole. It's just
not the best idea to be throwing to a 5'9" receiver unless he's got really good separation.
I would agree. Yeah. With little receivers, miss long. Let them run. Don't miss on the jump ball.
But
or the
I
back
think
shoulder.
if you watch that play, I think the
It was
other
somebody over
safety,
top, yeah.
the other safety was coming. That's why I didn't think it was a bad throw.
It had to be a really good throw. And
so that's why throwing to
just a little
Calvin
bit off.
Austin wasn't the best idea.
Yeah, it was just a tough throw because you got, like you said, an inside and a dude over top. Calvin did have separation, but it's like, yo, that's the drop in pass, the one where you got to be perfect on it. Unfortunately, it was a little bit less than, and yeah, it wasn't the best receiver to kind of offset some of that either. So you kind of get the perfect storm, and then you get, like you said, your man Canada calling a call that was already on tape. Hence the reason why versus Vegas, nobody over top. He's by himself versus this time, different coverage. So you got a little bit, person that's already seen this. So yeah, film study, it happens. But that's just the reality of it, man. But yeah. Shout out to them dudes.
Those were Calvin Austin's
he
two
didn't have any
best
bad
plays
tape
last year. He got a touchdown in the playoffs, and then got that Raiders touchdown.
Didn't he have a reverse or something too, like a jet sweep? I feel
You know what he did?
He had a jet sweep too, right?
What game was that? That was
that Cincinnati?
Yeah, that was the Mason game.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it was.
He had a nice little jet sweep too, man.
Yep.
He had some plays. Did any returns? I think that was his first year. No, that was this year.
Nothing to the house.
Nothing to the crib. No. But I thought he had a nice return too, though.
Yeah, a couple.
He showed some speed out.
Yeah.
Man, Calvin got some stuff, bro. We named some moments, and that's the thing. It's like he was a rookie, not a rookie, but like that was his rookie year, part of the rotation.
We had Allen Robinson out there way more than Calvin Austin.
A-Rob, you had Pickens and DJ.
I swear we had Boykin even out there more than Calvin Austin at times.
Yeah.
Just for blocking.
It was definitely blocking. Because remember, A-Rob was like the tight end. Wherever he goes, he's blocking. Yeah.